A $1 million jet moves you faster. A $10 million jet upgrades your life, but a $100 million jet rewrites geography itself. Private jets aren't just luxury transport. At different price levels, they represent entirely different lifestyles, power and control over time. Most people hear private jet and picture the same thing every time. Leather seats, champagne, no TSA lines, just a rich person skipping the airport chaos. And yeah, that's part of it. But that surface-level view completely misses the point, because a $1 million jet, a $10 million jet, and a $100 million jet. They are not upgrades of the same product. They're different tools built for other lives. At the bottom end, private aviation is about convenience. It's a shortcut. You're shaving hours off your day, avoiding delays, and flying on your schedule. It's practical, efficient, almost boring in its purpose. Move up to $10 million and things shift. Now the jet isn't just moving you, it's working for you. It becomes a flying office, a meeting room, a recovery space. Time stops being wasted and starts being optimized. And then there's $100 million. This isn't transportation anymore. This is power. This is bending distance, time zones and geography to your will. When you can cross oceans nonstop, sleep in a bedroom at 40,000 feet, and land anywhere on Earth ready to go, distance stops meaning what it used to. That's why pricing explodes instead of climbing slowly. You're not paying for nicer seats. You're paying for a completely different relationship with the world. And once you see that, everything else makes sense. All right, let's start at the bottom of the private jet ladder, because this is where expectations usually crash into reality. $1 million sounds like insane money. In private aviation, it's barely entry-level. You're not buying new, you're not buying modern, you're buying access. At this price, you're looking at older pre-owned light jets from the late 90s or early 2000s. Aircraft like the Cessna Citation CJ1, Learjet 31, or maybe a BeechJet 400A if you find a clean one. These jets usually seat 5 to 7 passengers, and to be clear, those seats are still far better than anything commercial. No middle seat misery here. But space is tight. Cabin height sits around 4 feet 9 inches. If you're tall, you're crouching. You're not walking around, you're shuffling. Stretching your arms? Forget it. You'll hit something. Range is limited too, around 1,000 to 1,500 nautical miles. That's regional travel, New York to Miami, LA to Vegas, Dallas to Denver. Try to push farther, and you're stopping for fuel. Speed is respectable, around 400 to 450 miles per hour. But this isn't about breaking records. It's about skipping the nonsense. Inside, it's functional. Leather seats, some wood trim, maybe a tiny refreshment center. No luxury bathrooms, no lie-flat beds. And the tech? Dated. Early 2000s avionics, maybe upgraded GPS if the previous owner invested a little extra. Operating costs still hurt, roughly $1,000 to $1,500 per flight hour. Fuel, crew, maintenance, insurance, hangar fees. This isn't cheap living. So who flies these? Doctors hopping between hospitals, small business owners covering multiple cities, people who value time more than image. And here's the thing. Despite all the limits, it still destroys commercial flying. No TSA, no layovers, no delays. You show up, you fly, you leave. Once you taste that freedom, it's hard to go back. Here's the part no glossy brochure mentions. A $1 million jet may be the cheapest way into private aviation, but it's rarely easy. These aircraft are old, and maintenance is constant. Parts wear out, Replacements can be hard to find, and downtime costs money. Add fuel, insurance, crew salaries, hangar fees, and inspections that ground the jet for weeks, and that cheap entry quickly feels expensive. This is where many first-time owners get surprised. Ownership isn't smooth, it's hands-on. Still, people do it because this is the real entry point into private aviation. Freedom over convenience. At this level, you're buying freedom, not perfection. And that freedom always comes at a price. Step inside, and the cabin tells the story immediately. You can stand up, fully. Cabin height jumps to around 6 feet, and suddenly the aircraft feels open instead of cramped. The cabin is wider too, which sounds small, but on a 3, 5, or 7-hour flight, shoulder room changes everything. Comfort takes a massive leap. Seats recline properly. Some convert into fully lie-flat beds. Bathrooms are no longer an afterthought. You can actually move inside them. Entertainment systems are modern, with large screens and satellite connectivity. You're not just flying anymore, you're living up there. Then there's range. This is the real flex, around 3,000 to 3,500 nautical miles. New York to London, LA to Hawaii, Miami to Sao Paulo. No fuel stops, no interruptions. That kind of reach quietly changes how you plan your life. Speed improves too, pushing into the 500 to 530 miles per hour range. That extra speed matters. When time equals money, arriving an hour earlier isn't a luxury, it's leverage. The galley is full-size now, hot meals, fresh food, real service. And the avionics? Cutting edge. Synthetic vision, advanced weather radar, modern flight management systems. Pilots can fly smoother, safer, and smarter. This is the tier where private flying stops feeling like a workaround and starts feeling right, balanced, polished, complete. So who actually lives in this space? This is executive territory. Entrepreneurs, corporate leadership, people who travel constantly but still care about efficiency more than spectacle. These jets are built for work. Meetings happen in the air. Deals get discussed between cities. Clients and partners fly comfortably instead of arriving drained. You land ready, not wrecked. What makes this tier dominate real-world private jet usage is balance. You get serious luxury without entering absurd territory. Maintenance is manageable. Manufacturer support is strong. Parts are available. Downtime is predictable. Unlike older jets, these aircraft aren't needy. They just work. And that's why so many wealthy professionals stop here. It's enough range to go anywhere important, enough comfort to make long flights painless, enough speed to protect your schedule. For most people who can afford it, this is the sweet spot. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Now forget everything you think you know about private jets. Because at $100 million, we're not talking about jets anymore. We're talking about flying real estate. This is where private aviation blends into commercial aviation. These aircraft are often VIP-configured airliners or ultra-long-range flagships. Boeing Business Jets like the BeechJet 737 or 787 Dreamliner. Airbus ACJ 320neo or ACJ 350. Or monsters like the Bombardier Global 7500 and Gulfstream G700 in extreme custom builds. Yes, they can carry 15 to 50 passengers, but that's not the point. Most owners don't fill them with seats. They fill them with rooms, actual rooms, master bedrooms with king-size beds, ensuite bathrooms with full showers, lounges with couches and recliners, conference rooms with full video conferencing setups, full galleys where professional chefs prepare meals at 40,000 feet. This isn't a jet, it's a penthouse that moves. Luxury reaches another level here. Marble or onyx in the bathrooms, gold fixtures, custom lighting systems that feel more like high-end nightclubs than aircraft cabins. Every surface is intentional. Every detail is designed. The range is almost absurd, anywhere from 7,000 to over 8,500 nautical miles. New York to Hong Kong non-stop. Los Angeles to Dubai without blinking. London to Sydney with one stop. The planet shrinks. Speed pushes 560 to 600 miles per hour, depending on the aircraft. Combined with that range, the world stops being distant. It becomes accessible. But the real difference isn't comfort or speed. It's control. When you can go anywhere, anytime, without relying on routes, schedules, or refueling stops, geography loses its grip on you. These jets aren't about travel. They're about dominance over distance. That's why billionaires, heads of state, and ultra-power players live here. This isn't luxury for fun. It's a strategic asset. And here's where things get truly wild. At $100 million, you're not just buying an aircraft, you're hiring designers. Sometimes the same teams that build super yachts or five-star hotels. Every square inch is custom. Want a soundproof bedroom so you can sleep while staff works up front? Done. Secure communications rivaling government systems? No problem. Medical equipment for long-haul flights? Installed. Some owners build these jets around their lifestyle. Others build them around security, health, or business continuity. Operating costs match the ambition, anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 per flight hour. Massive fuel burn, extensive maintenance programs, insurance running into the hundreds of thousands annually. And the crew? Top tier. Airline-level pilots, often ex-military or former commercial captains. Full-time salaried flight attendants trained to handle everything from gourmet service to emergencies. At this level, ownership starts resembling running a small airline. Because that's exactly what it is. So what's the real difference? A $1 million jet buys access. Freedom from airline chaos. Control over your schedule. A $10 million jet buys efficiency. Comfort. Speed. A workspace in the sky that actually works. A $100 million jet buys dominance. The ability to cross the planet without friction, to turn oceans into inconveniences. As money increases, distance changes meaning. Cities feel closer. Continents feel smaller. Time zones stop being barriers. Private aviation doesn't scale gently. It transforms completely. And once you see that, you realize these jets aren't about flexing. They're about control. Private jets aren't about showing off. They're about owning your time, your comfort, and your reach across the planet. If this breakdown opened your eyes, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and subscribe. And if you thought this was crazy, wait till you see our next video.